0 to 100 real slow is the name of the podcast, and where you, the viewer slash listener slash watcher, get to choose the topic for me to either talk or rant about. My name is Hattie. I'm your host, and I'm happy to be here. And I'm also very sorry. I apologize for being away for way too long. But this is what I was talking about in the earlier episodes. I fall into these slumps. I catch a wave. I find a groove, and then all of a sudden I stop and I say tomorrow, and tomorrow I put things off, and it's like, no, I got to get back on the bike. I got to keep pedaling. I got to keep moving forward. So here we are trying to build some discipline. This is episode 5. I even tried recording this episode last night. Didn't really like my energy and just kind of just put it away. It's, which brings me to say also, like, I'm getting some feedback and some comments from close ones saying that I'm not really being my full self on here. And like I'm playing it a little safe. And that's the problem that I would like to address, if possible, just for a minute, just for a little 60 seconds. It is so hard to be completely truthful or 100% genuine on a platform like this, in the vicinity that I'm at. It is so hard. I'm always looking over my shoulder. And it bothers the process because a part of my humor is my ranting. And it's also a part of my, I don't want to say it's therapeutic, but I get things off and sometimes it gets really serious. And, I highlight key things that really matter. And it's not always just all jokes, but then that's the thing. I always got to watch out for what I say. And it's so hard, especially if you're a creative person and you just want to depict or, paint a picture for people who have no idea what they're looking at or what you're looking at. You paint a picture for other people to see. Like, I want to talk about my surroundings. I want to talk about things that need to be talked about. Like, I really emphasize on the word need because some things need to be talked about. Some things need to be criticized. Some things need to be spoken on, but that's why I'm finding it so difficult. But we will manage because this is nothing but a challenge, if anything. I can't look at it as something that stops me from being able to give this platform all that I'm able to give. I just have to look at it as a challenge. Work with what you've got, but somehow try to push the envelope because that's what it's supposed to. That's what it's supposed to be. That's what you're supposed to do as a creative, as somebody that just is trying to, build something. You want to push the envelope. You want to have people think. You want to. That's what it's supposed to be, man. That's what I'm feeling. But I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. I don't want to be a negative Nancy. I don't want to be the person I don't want to be a Karen. I want to be silly. I want to be funny about stuff. I want to be able to talk in hypotheticals. I want to be able to just use my imagination without having to look over my shoulder. So we will try, okay? We will try. I've got some messages. I've got some voice notes. We're going to talk about some things. A lot has happened in the past few months, in the past few weeks, that I kind of want to catch up on also. Hope everyone's having a great start of the summer. Summer basically for me means no work until September. And because of all the things that have happened in the recent months with the political climate, summer basically just came early for me. So instead of June, I had to start living on my savings. When did I start? March, April. And so it's been a little tough, I had like a really nice busy work week last week and where I've worked like for 7 days straight. And that was pretty much for all of June, which can carry me into like maybe end of August potentially or like halfway through August. So that's really cool. But we are in the gray area, folks. We are struggling just a little bit. All right. Granted, I've put aside some funds for me to get by. And, I like taking my friends out. I like taking my fam out. And that's a thing that I've just enjoyed over the past couple of years, coming into whatever little tiny success I've found. But like we're checking out the price tags, y'all. We're looking at the item and we're checking out the price tags and we're doing some math in our heads. It's come to that point again. I'm walking around and I'm thinking, do I really need to buy these mozzarella sticks? Can I just put it back and focus on my health a little bit and save a little? Do I really need to book a hotel and a spa for a couple of days so I can relax? No, just stay at home and I got myself a back scratcher and I'm doing okay with that. I gotta remember my I got to remember the old ways. All right. We're struggling just a little bit, but we going to be okay. Okay. Man, these slumps, I tell you, they can be really dark. They can be really deep as well. But you got to climb out, man. Depression, like I don't want to even speak on it like I have, all the knowledge on it. But I just know that when it hits, it is so hard, man. It is a funk that you just cannot get out of. And so I have these things that I try to focus on myself and just, baby steps. The other day, my whole room was a mess, Clothes were on the chair, laundry not washed, plates were in the sink. I just had to just slowly do things one by one and then find that rhythm and then just attack things with a purpose. I don't know if that's going to help anybody else that's going through a funk, but just the small things, just like literally get up. That's one thing. Like if you're lying down, literally get up. I do this thing where it's like when I'm lying down, I just tug on the curtain so that I let some sunlight in. That's like one thing. That's one, cross that off the checklist. That's a small goal, and then just get up and do a couple of bounces. I'll slide open the balcony door and just stand out on on the artificial grass that I have, and just stand in the balcony and just try to breathe. Small things, man. It's been crazy. It's been really crazy, but yeah, I had that really busy work week, which was really cool. The Monopoly experience is back. If you guys are following me on the gram, I just put out a vlog, pretty much showcasing what that work week looked like. I did a wedding. That was really fun. Also, shout out to Hajra and Majid. I know that sometimes they peep my content, and that was really, really fun. Hosted on a yacht. It was so hot. And golly, my God, hosting on a yacht can be crazy. And then I did the Junior NBA Finals, which I do every year. That's always fun. Love seeing my peeps. And also some news, if you guys didn't know, Dubai Basketball won the ABBA Championship. We are champions. Second season in, and we're champions. I hosted the 2 home games. It was best of 3 in the ABBA League. They went away, lost one, and then won the 4th game, came back champions, and we had this like championship event that I hosted also, which was pretty cool. So that was that. I did get one inquiry today for a corporate job, a corporate hosting job. And that happens in 5 or 6 days, I believe. It's on the 1st. So I have some time to rest before that happens. So that's cool. So I got something lined up. It's going to keep my July open. Yeah. New York Knicks. You can see it on the head as well. Champs, baby. Knicks in 5. I know it seems like I'm a bandwagoner, but a lot of y'all don't know I lived in New York. And if anything, I consider that city more home than any other place I've lived at. And I've only lived in like 3 places in my life, basically. It was here in the Middle East, the Philippines, which is very close to my heart. And I was in New York and LA, but New York was where I felt most home. And so call me a bandwagoner, but I consider myself a New Yorker. You know what I'm saying? And it was so worth it to see the Knicks win and all the chaos and all the shenanigans happening outside of Madison Square Garden. Just everybody's going crazy. It was so fun. So fun to watch. It would have been even funner to be there. The vibes crazy. My gosh. What else? What else happened in the past few weeks? I've been, I don't know, man. Locked in, locked out. I try to leave as much as I can. I try to get some air, and I'm kind of back into, hopefully I build another, I don't know, program for me to go back to the gym. Also, my medical problems, I've used them as an excuse for way too long. I can't fit in chairs anymore. This is crazy. Like I have to strategically place the camera and angle it at a certain way every time I either shoot a video or take a pic. It's come to that point, y'all. It's come to that point. I haven't gone this long without playing basketball ever in my life. Weight has gone up and down, throughout my whole 36 years of existence, but I've always had basketball to fall back on in terms of just getting my daily movement in. But now, because of the injury that happened last August, I haven't played basketball in months. That's never happened to me in my life. And it's bothering me, and and it's starting to show as well with all the problems that I've been going through. Like, damn. So I got to get back on the bike with that too. Okay, I'm not trying to be, again, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. And I'm just talking about things that have been bothering me for the past few weeks, and we're just catching up on some stuff. I don't know. What else? What else is there to talk about before we jump into the messages and the voice notes? So many plans as well. And because I'm free for the next couple of months, there's just a lot of content that I have planned for me to put out there. So I got to get back to just being comfortable with taking the videos, and just putting them out there. I just streamed Red Dead Redemption 2. I kind of fixed my whole setup to make it look a lot more, I don't know, aesthetically pleasing. I'm working on a different platform. I bought myself a capture card. Like, I'm trying here. I'm trying to get that quality. Okay? Trying to get the quality. So that's another thing. Like, I'm also, I just want to stick to all my plans, and I just want to just cross them all off of my list and do everything, because I want to be that person. That's the person that's able to do all these things. That's, somewhat above mediocre at doing them also. I just don't want to stick to one thing. This has been my signature my whole life. Why can't I just do everything? But it does have, of course, its own set of issues, like all the things that I've been going through. So that's probably why you shouldn't really do what I do. But I want to be the first person to really do it, or just like one of the few that does it. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's other things that I want to talk about, but slipped my mind. We're going to go straight to the messages and voice notes. I put out a prompt on Instagram, and, I'm going to try and get this podcast in, I want to say under an hour, because the last couple of episodes were a little too long. I've been listening to them, like when I'm in the car. Sometimes I watch, and then, or I have it play in the background before I go to, I'm a narcissist, right? And this thing is like too long. And I see also what people say about me not really being my full self. That's because you have to play it safe. You have to. But it's a challenge. It's not a wall. It's a hurdle that we have to jump over. Okay. Even if it was a wall, we break right through it. Even if it was a mountain, we move it. I'm all out of metaphors. That's all we're getting for today. Okay. Let's just go straight to the messages and voice notes. I know that Marlon sent one in. This was a while back. I didn't get to play it, but we're going to play it right now. Marlon, we're starting off with you. This is our first voice note.
Hey, sorry, I just noticed you're using Ray-Ban Meta or Meta glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Just wondering, what voice does your Meta glass have?
That's it. Okay, so Marlon, thank you so much for the question. It is a lady's voice. It is a nice old lady. Well, she's not old. I feel like she's in her mid 30s, early 40s. I'm not sure how many choices you get in terms of what kind of voice to use when you're on, your metas. But yeah, speaking of metas, if I can just delve a little further into it and just kind of just broaden the subject, I'm loving it. I love the whole, just click or say, hey, Meta, start recording. It just makes things a little easier. I even have the sensor blocker, because I don't want it to be too intrusive when I'm recording. And sometimes if I'm in the dark, it's really obvious. Just make sure I tell people that I'm recording, before people start commenting creep. I'm not a creep, just a weirdo. That's what I'm talking about. I need more stuff like that. More corniness. But yeah, really love the metas. It's been doing really great. I love these POV videos that I've been posting also. Some people have been, very appreciative and welcoming of that kind of content. So I like it. I'm gonna do a lot more with my metas. So that was our first question. It is the voice of a nice young lady. I don't know if I hope that comforts you, that piece of knowledge. We will now go to an old friend of mine. She sent me a voice note a while back. This is Becca. All right, Bex. She also has been going through a tough time with with actually the same injury. Man, these ACL injuries are no joke. It's insane. Let's see what is on Bex's mind.
I don't know which angle you want to take this from, but
Hey, yo.
I'd like to hear you talk about double standards in a relationship, and how
Excuse
that
me.
is supposed to be managed. What do you do when there's
Managed.
clear double standards and they can't see it? It's like something's got to change, no? How do we get them to see it? How do we cut through that double standards? I would like to hear your thoughts on that and some ridiculous stories on these double standards.
Well, first off, I hope everything is okay, Bex. You sounded like you sounded a little bitter when you asked that question. We might have to do a little catch up session. Double standards, inevitable everywhere. Relationships, friendships, work. Only way to cut through it or to work through it is communicate, really, in my opinion. Just open communication. Talk. Just share your feelings. You're insecure about something. Talk about it. It's so crazy in the past couple of months. Like 75% of the problems or the issues that I've been having with people, solved through open communication. Just talk about it. Agree to disagree in some areas, and people have different traumas. People have different levels of trauma. People have different experiences, and so the double standards can be pretty crazy. I mean, like the most common thing, of course, when it comes to relationships, I guess, would be, I don't know, like I don't like when you hang out with that one friend and then you get to hang out with that one friend who I also don't like. But you know what I'm saying? I think that's one of the things. Or like when girls, or like when guys tell girls what to wear, and then they go ahead and do whatever they want when they go to the gym or when they're out. It's like those are small. I don't want to say small because I don't want to put like a limit on how important or how unimportant that is, because sometimes it can get pretty crazy. But it's just some examples of double standards. Am I explaining it correctly? It's just like you set a standard, but then you don't meet it yourself. So yeah, I mean, what else? I don't know. Guys have this thing where it's like when girls get really miss independent and I can do my own thing. I don't need no saving, and then they expect you to kind of shower them with gifts at some point, or I only want this kind of man or this kind of dude in my life. And it's like, well, that's another thing that's very double standard-y. Um, I don't know. I can get very if we're thinking about like my own experiences, I'm trying to think of something funny, but like I can get pretty toxic as well. I'm not perfect. I'm trying to think of something that I did. There was this in the relationship with the ex before my current ex. I remember she opened my eyes with this because we communicated it. And so we communicated it through and it helped. And where I'm always the type of person, um, like I'm not so good. I'm so quick to lecture, which is not that good actually. And then it's like she made a point where she was just like, it's just if it doesn't make any sense to you, then it's automatically wrong. And it's like, and that's messed up. And I'm like, that is messed up. That's crazy. But then it's just like I can't help it if I'm right almost all the time. I'm just kidding. But there's another one where I remember I was talking to this girl before we started going out. This is way back when, and she would tell me all these stories of like she was wild, and this obviously increased my interest, right, in the chick, in the young lady, and and after the talking stages, we ended up going out, and then suddenly I would be a little more. I wasn't like over. What's the word I'm looking for? I wasn't overprotective. I wasn't extremely controlling, but I would say, if you're going out to this little thing when those guys are going to be there, then I have a problem with that because of all the stories that she told me. But it's like, you know, I shouldn't have a problem with that, and I should just be able to trust. But because of all my experiences and my traumas, and the fact that I ended up being right and this girl hurt me multiple times, it doesn't mean I should do that all the time. But it's just like there are some instances in where you can have your intuition kick in, and guys, use your intuition as well. Don't just be stoic all the time. Just what's another double standard? Mm, I've been really messing up with my current ex, I'll be open about this, and where it's always me that ends things, but then we always have these little like windows or these little romantic getaways, which is, we communicate, but it's not fair. And I admit that also, but we're working through it. And yeah, double standards can be crazy. But it sounds like you I don't know, with judging from your tone, something's been happening. But Bex, you just talk it out. You're great at communicating. Just talk it out. Hopefully nothing crazy is happening. Yeah, communication. But it happens everywhere too. Like it's inevitable, even at work. You know, my thing with work is, and this is something that we can talk about, and I'm going to be very careful with what I say. Again, this is me just kind of looking over my goddamn shoulder, right? Like, so I hate it when companies or agencies don't return or show you the same energy they showed when they were trying to get you to work, right? They don't show the same energy when you try to get them to pay. You know what I'm saying? That's a double standard. Fucking show me just the same amount of attention and, responsiveness when I ask you for my money, when I ask you for the payment for the work that I did for you, for all the hard work that I've done. Reply back, say something. I'm so sorry. We really wanted it to be released, at the soonest, but this is happening and it's taking forever and we need a signature. And if anything, bullshit me. Like, just don't ghost. That's the thing that I hate when it comes to the industry. It's just the change in energy all of a sudden when you start asking, for what you're owed. That's insane to me. But yeah, double standards everywhere. Communicate, people. Communicate. Okay, that's just my opinion. I don't know what the right answer is, but just communicate, y'all. And hopefully nothing too crazy, Bex. Hopefully nothing too crazy. Okay, we're gonna go to the prompts that I had. Let's see if I can find it. I got to go to my archive first because this was yesterday and it's been 24 hours. Okay. I didn't save it? Damn, I didn't save it. Oh, here it is. Okay. What are your plans for next year? Is one of the questions that I remember. Do I not have it? Do I not have it? Why do I not have it? Should have saved it. It's okay. I remember the questions because I kind of went through them real quick. That was from Manu, and not just with work and shit. My plans in general, my goals for next year. There's a lot of things that I have planned for myself. One would be just to confirm and to have like 100% confirmation on this project that I've been working on in terms of just kind of sealing the deal. I feel like we're 75% there. I can't really be vocal about it or just announce anything yet. So I'm going to wait for another month or two. But that's something that's pretty huge for me because it's a big step and it's to do with a really big brand. And so hopefully that comes to fruition and I can talk about it in the next month or in the next few weeks. I'm also getting really crazy about physically getting back in shape for real and strengthening my knee in terms of my injury because of this project that I really want to land. And I just want to be at my best so that when it does come through, everything just goes smoothly. Another thing that I'm working on is the brand that we both are a part of. Me more so in terms of working, you more so in terms of cheering. Right? I'm trying to increase my relationship or just better my relationship with everybody. I have all these ideas that I want to bring out. I want to just increase fan engagement. I want to bridge the gap between the players and the fans. I want to create all kinds of content. So yeah, there's a lot of things that I have planned for the summer when it comes to that. But also just putting out all this content because I have all these goals that I have, like these 5-year, 10-year goals, and everything that I do from tomorrow onwards it all has a say in whether or not I can cross those goals off my list. So yes, I'm really working on a lot of content for the next couple of months. That's something that you guys can watch out for, whether it's this podcast or streaming or even music. People forget that I make music, so I really want to put on an album at some point. Reaction videos, eating videos, not as crazy as they were because we're trying to cut this the Santa Claus belly. So yeah, there's a lot of things that I'm working on, and I have to be very consistent. I have to stay disciplined. I have to find just purpose in everything that I do because I can't just fall into a slump again. So that's something that I'm really focusing on. I'm trying to just better my relationships as well with people. I'm trying to be a lot more present. This is all just for this year, really. This is for this year, just to answer your question. Another prompt or question that I got on the prompt was, what is the best thing about me? I'm going to leave this person anonymous, which I'm guessing is how that person would want to be. But I was saying also on the podcast that I recorded earlier that I tried to get through was that it's funny because we were actually talking about you. I had a meeting with a workmate of ours who isn't in the country, and we were just talking about your skills and how much we appreciate the way you put the way your efforts are being sort of just like shown through the work that you're doing, and that if we could sit down and actually just like brainstorm with things and where I can be involved also to make funny and really cool content, then that would be really cool. But one thing that's definitely the best, I want to say the best, but like really, really great about you is the way your creative process, your creative approach, so good. So pat yourself on the back for that. Another thing would be your dark humor. Really love your dark humor, but that's pretty much, we don't get to hang out outside of work. Whose fault is that? That's one thing I like, is your inability to hang out outside of work. But yeah, no, really, really, really enjoy your creative process. And if anything, when people come and ask, for help in those fields, you're always the first person that I think of. So great job. Great job. Okay, another thing to talk about. Another prompt. I'm trying to remember from yesterday. Well, yeah, what my favorite car was, and if I believed in myself enough to actually attain my dream car. And I was talking about it, saying, I'm going to say the same things I said pretty much. I'm not the biggest car guy. Sorry to disappoint any of you watching, but I'm not. I'm not like the biggest car guy. I'm very basic. I actually have plans of purchasing a Land Cruiser Prado later on this year. That's something that I really like. I really like boxy looking cars. Chinese cars also have had my eye for a little while. I was so focused. I was actually kind of hell bent on getting myself a Tank 300, which is from the GWM family. I thought that looked really nice. What else? The Build Your Dream BYD TI. I want to say is a TI 30, TI 4. It's kind of like a not even a Temu version, but a really good copy of the Defender. And it's spacious, and it looks really nice on the inside, great interior, it drives really well. That's something that I was looking at also. But yeah, I'm very basic. I like my dream car growing up, I guess probably would have been like a Jeep, like a Sahara, Wrangler, or like I liked the Bronco. I like these kinds of cars. Trucks, not so much. Maybe a Raptor. I like Raptors. But growing up, also being from the Fast and the Furious era, Skylines were a thing back when we were younger. So every time we saw like a Nissan, like every time we saw a GTR, it was like, wow. And Brian from the movie had the silver one, the silver and blue one. And so that was like a thing for a while. But dream cars, there was a concept car that I kind of obsessed with for like a year or two. I saw it in a magazine. They never really manufactured it or mass manufactured it. It was the Buick Bengal. If you don't know what that is, Google it. Excuse me. It just looked like a superhero car, and I was just kind of like obsessed with how it looked. And so I liked the Buick Bengal for a while. I would say that to people if they asked me. But I didn't really know anything else about it. Yeah, I don't know. But if you Google it, it looks really cool. So that's one of my dream cars, I guess, growing up. I don't know. Fast cars, Porsche, I don't know, 911. I don't know. Yeah, Lamborghinis. I don't know. I'm happy with the fact that I'm getting a Toyota Prado at some point, whether it's this year or next year, but it's on my list. And whether or not I believe I can achieve or attain my dream car, yes. That's just to answer your question. I'm that type of person where if I obsess over something or really work towards a goal or something that I really want to have, then I will get it and I will claim it. But yeah, thank you for that question. Let's see if I can remember anything else. There was was that four people? So there was favorite car. There was what am I gonna do next year? Favorite thing about that person. There's one more thing. What was it? I'm going to take some time here and really think about what that fourth question or prompt was. I don't have it on here per se, but I shall remember it. Yes, I remember it. I finally remember it. It was from Matham. My brother from another mother. I say that because we literally look alike, and he's also a halfie. And his question was, do I ever get pressured from both sides of my family, with the different cultures and different religions, is what he said. And I didn't want to stress too much on religion, and because we were growing up, we were really raised to be curious, and so it was more of a gather as much information as you can, and whatever path you feel is the right one for you, take that path. And I love the way my parents raised us. I could not advise my friends who are having kids enough on just raising them to be curious. Of course, you guys parents have their own ways of how they want to raise their kids, but just if you can at least keep this curiosity trait alive, they'll grow up to be cool people. But I never really felt any pressure from both sides. And then also because I was born here, it was just a lot of confusion. That's what it was. It was just a lot of identity crises is something that a lot of kids over here go through. You don't have the culture of the country that you're born in. You just have a part of it because you're not allowed. That's a rule here. Second, your parents can be from two completely different cultures also. Like my father is German Egyptian. He's a mutt himself. And then my mom is from the Philippines. And so with my father, you can definitely see the influence of both cultures. He speaks both languages, comes from a very intelligent family, and, like information and history, very big on that. My mom is from the Philippines, and the core values and the culture that they have is completely different as well from, the European or the North African or the Arabic side. And it was all sort of like meshed in, but not really. I want to say it was never really taught. Like first of all, like growing up, my father never really taught us German. Maybe he did for like a little bit, but he never really enforced it or made it a point for us to really learn the language. My two sisters speak German because they lived there for a little while. I am the Asian kid. I live in the Philippines. I opted to live in the Philippines by myself. This was my choice and my decision. And so if anything, I lean more towards the Filipino part of me. And just like all the stuff that I picked up. Because the thing is that when I moved there, I was 16 and I left when I was 24. So I spent a good decade in the Philippines on my own. So all my formative years. And so I have a lot to owe to that country, my mother's country. But everything I learned about the culture was mostly when I was living there. It was more when I was there and not when I was here. Here was like my mother, whenever the culture just popped up, it was just there. It was never really taught as much. So never really felt any pressure from both sides. There was a lot of confusion, of course. Didn't know what it was to be patriotic to anything, because they don't really teach that here, especially if you're a foreigner. But yeah, I don't know if that answers your question. I do like the traits that I have received from living in the Philippines. And having to fend for myself. I wouldn't say like I had the worst experiences, but it wasn't truly being mixed and living in a place in where you don't necessarily look like the people or your own people can be very, very difficult. A lot of people don't know this, but it's just all my life I've just been a subject of judgment, bullying, and people just assuming the worst, and and as like I was one thing, I don't know why I don't know if you're asking this question because you feel pressure. Maybe I'm just gonna speak to you directly right now because you have a beautiful family. I love your family so much, and there's just so much love there. And that's the best thing about mixed marriages. Also, is like we come out, we pop out. I think the most beautiful kids in the world are mixed, but I also am not like a huge fan, which is funny to say since I'm a product of one of like interracial, like couples. Am I saying it correctly? Is that the right term? Mostly because there are a lot of stereotypes out there that give people like us or me a bad rep. People will just assume, oh, and the things that I would hear, the fucking horrors that I would hear come out of people's mouths, or the assumptions or the fakeness, and it's bad. I think if it's led by love and care and understanding and open communication, it can be the best thing ever, because I think, yeah, mixed kids are the best. But yeah, I don't know if that answers your question. I don't feel too much pressure, but yeah, I think that covers all the questions and prompts that I've received. Very forward, I think, very straightforward podcast episode. Hopefully we get to lighten up the mood a little more in the next episode. Maybe we can get some more voice notes to come in. I'll plan that ahead. But yeah, I think I wanted to record this for the sake of just doing it also, and just being intentional. Be intentional with things that you do, right? And it's to keep me from falling back into another slump. So I think we're good on this, because the last couple of episodes were a little too long. So I think we're okay. We could go for another voice note. I could ask a group to just send something in. Otherwise, I'm happy with where we're at. What to expect in the next few days or few weeks? Definitely more. I'm really gonna try and stick to my schedule that I wrote out for myself in terms of what to post every single day, where there's a vlog, a podcast clip, a streaming clip, maybe something to do with wellness or fitness. Maybe I'll bring back the cooking videos. I just want to put something out almost every single day, and just get this ball rolling. And yeah, I'm hoping everyone's having a great start to the summer. I'm hoping more people just join in or tune in or send in stuff for me to talk about and rant about. I'm here. I'm here all day, all week, all month, all year. Just want to talk about shit. But yeah. All right. That's it. 0 to 100 real slow. That's the name of the podcast. I'll see you guys next episode.